the first sound that didn't belong in. The room was my name, Milo Rowan, said by a man who didn't know I was. Standing in the hallway, barefoot, holding a glass of water I would never drink. She won't know, he said, once. It's signed, it's just paperwork. Accidents happen, paper rustled, a pen clicked. My wife laughed, not the laugh she used with me. This one was lighter, practiced, intimate in a way that had never been meant for my ears. I stood still, breathing shallow, counting the seconds between heartbeats so my pulse wouldn't betray me. I already drafted everything. She said, life insurance, power of attorney, the trust roots through my name, clean. Quiet, a pause in him. The man asked, he'll be gone before he understands what's happening. That was the moment my world didn't shatter, it rearranged itself. I stepped back silently. The floor didn't creak, the house didn't. Warn them, it never does. Houses are loyal to whoever pays the mortgage. I went to the bedroom, sat on the edge of the bed, let the rage pass through me. Without touching the surface, she wanted me to disappear quietly. So I listened. For 15 years, I believed I was married to a careful woman, intelligent, reserved, the kind who planned holidays 6 months in advance and labeled files with neat precision. I told myself her distance was discipline, her late nights were ambition, her phone turning face down was habit. I replayed every memory like surveillance footage slowed to half speed, the smiles that arrived a second too late, the way she watched me when she thought I wasn't looking, measuring, not loving. The man was not a stranger. That was the second betrayal. He was her consultant, the one she insisted handle our investments. A family friend, she'd said, trusted, safe. I had shaken his hand. He had counted my money. I didn't confront her. Not then. Shock is loud when you let it speak. I swallowed it whole and let it burn. At dinner, I asked about her day. She told me a lie so casually it impressed me. That night beside her in bed, I listened to her breathe and wondered how long she had been rehearsing my absence. I became smaller, quieter. I started leaving my phone behind, changed my routines, watched without watching. I requested copies of documents she didn't know I had access to, insurance amendments, trust revisions, dates that didn't align with conversations I remembered. I pulled phone records, not messages. She was smarter than that. But patterns, calls at precise times, always before meetings, always after. I installed nothing, followed no one. Intelligence leaves fingerprints, patience does not. I met with a lawyer under the pretense of estate planning. I let him talk. I listened for what he didn't say. She's positioned herself carefully. He admitted if something happened to you, she'd benefit. Something, I nodded, come almost bored. At home, she kissed my cheek and asked if I wanted wine. Her hand lingered on my shoulder like a promise already broken. I smiled. Inside, I was building a map. The confirmation arrived on a Tuesday, a courier envelope heavy paper, ink that didn't tremble, drafted plans, contingencies, a clause titled in the event of sudden loss, my sudden loss. There was a handwritten note in the margin, her handwriting, familiar curves. After this, we're free. I closed my eyes, counted to 5, not because I was emotional, because clarity requires silence. That evening, I placed the documents on the kitchen table between us, neatly aligned like she liked. What's this? She asked. I watched her read, watched the color drain from her face, watched calculation collapse into fear. You weren't supposed to see That, she whispered. I said nothing. She reached for me. I stepped back. Silence did the work for me. It always does. I didn't yell. I didn't accuse. I invited her lover to dinner. He arrived. Confident. Smiling, wearing a watch I had paid for. I served wine, let them sit, then I slid copies across the table, one to him, one to her. I heard everything I said. Softly, precisely. His mouth opened, closed. He looked at her. She didn't look back. I restructured the accounts. I continued. Weeks ago, legally, quietly, I paused. The insurance policies were voided this morning. Fraud clause. Her breath hitched, and the trust, she asked. I smiled for the first time. It names neither of you. The men stood up. Anger. Panic, real emotion. She stayed seated, staring at the papers like they might rearrange themselves. You planned my death, I said, on paper. I leaned closer, so I erased you. She lost everything without a courtroom. The house sold under my authority. The accounts frozen pending investigation. Her lover vanished the moment the money did. I left her with a suitcase and a legal name that now meant nothing. No violence. No shouting, just removal. Weeks later, I passed her on the street. She didn't recognize me at first. Then she did. Her eyes searched my face for something. Regret, maybe. Mercy. I gave her nothing. I walked on. Some people think revenge requires destruction. They're wrong. Sometimes the most devastating thing you can do to someone is let them live exactly as they deserve. Without you, without protection, without a story to tell. She wanted me gone. In the end, I was the only thing she never managed to erase.